Good morning, guys. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy almost Thanksgiving. I, for once, did not struggle about what I was going to write this sermon about. For once. Let that sink in. For once. Usually when I do Sunday sermons, let me actually turn myself off mute. Over there. And let me start over for those of you guys on YouTube when I didn't unmute myself. For once, I did not struggle about what I was going to write this sermon about. For once. I knew that this week needed to be a different type of message. I know that with the holidays coming up, a lot of people are going to be around people that they make you feel powerless. They make you feel like you don't have a dog in the fight. They make you feel less than. And I know in today's world, we all get caught up with feeling like we're not good enough. Oh, bitches. You are. Today's Sunday sermon is about being different. Being divine. Embracing your gifts and your personal power. Today's sermon is about so many things that we spend our entire life running from. Being different. Being gifted. Being powerful. Being ourself. For centuries, millennia, people have wanted to know, why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just be normal? But I want you to listen to this next thing that comes out of my face. I want you to hear it with your whole soul. I want you to hear it with your whole body. And I hope every hair on your body stands up when I say this. Are you ready? Normal is not divine. Normal is not divine. Normal never changed the world. Normal never healed anyone. Normal never shifted a timeline. Normal never cracked open the veil. Normal never carried wisdom from the ancestors into the future. Normal never changed the world. Difference is divine. Power is purpose. Giftedness is sacred. And today, in today's world, it is crazy and chaotic and insane and depressing and beautiful. And it gives you the opportunity for your personal divineness to shine through all of the muck and the bullshit and the crud that is out there. And I want you to remember that. And we're going to start with something that you guys are all familiar with. And if you're not familiar with it, you have homework after this. I promise it's not hard homework. A lot of you guys grew up or you have watched the X-Men movies, am I right? About the mutants and the war against being different. How did that sit with you? How did that strike you? Stories of people that are born with these unimaginable powers that made them feared, hunted, or worshipped. In the newer movies, when they travel back to like the earlier days, back before the mutant wars, we see this world that's terrified of anything outside the norm. We see the government in the movie scrambling to control, to cage, to study, to weaponize, or to eliminate anything that they don't understand. Does that sound familiar? Bitches, does that sound familiar? It should. The idea of mutants is not fantasy. It's a metaphor. It's mythology. It's a mirror. And it's history. It's history. We're going to get into that in a minute, but the world has always reacted strangely to people who carry gifts. Those gifts that are empathy, talking to cats, healing, enhanced intuition, energy manipulation, telepathy, astral vision, remote viewing. So many of the exact spiritual gifts that every one of you listening walk with. These movies, as entertaining as they are, they have desensitized us without us even realizing it. We watch people with these incredible abilities be honored and hunted. Outcast, labeled a threat. And Hollywood tells us, oh, don't worry, it's just fiction, it's just a story. But the treatment of gifted people, neurodivergent people, spiritually sensitive people, prophetic people, healers, seers, shamans, energy workers, intuitive people throughout the world, throughout all the different cultures, have always been happening for thousands of years. They've been persecuted. They've been honored. They've been trained. They've been trained to help that culture, that tribe. Or they've been studied and put into cages. And worse. It's just a movie, right? Only the costumes are different. There's a study that circulated a couple years ago in academia and in genetic circles. It looked at how the Holy Roman Empire and the related inquisitions affected the DNA of Europe. And if you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about this study, and you can find it out there. They looked at how the Holy Roman Empire's inquisitions affected the DNA of Europe. And they truly expected to find that there was more DNA because the Holy Roman Empire moved all the way up through Europe and through the pagan circles and so on. So they expected to find more. But they didn't. What they found was surprising and disturbing. They found that they executed, eradicated, exiled, tortured anyone that had seership, mediumship, healing, a lot of neurodivergencies, intuition. Sound familiar? They weren't removing individuals, they were altering the gene pool. So why does this matter? Why does it matter now? Because they were removing entire bloodlines from the future. And part of why I wanted to talk about this today is because if you have these gifts and abilities, today, and you have European ancestors, you are the descendants of those who survived, those who hid. We talked today a lot about how Europe and the West have fewer openly mystical traditions compared to Africa, Asia, the indigenous Americas, indigenous tribes. Why? Why? Wasn't an accident. It's manufactured. Let that sink in. It was manufactured. You are the descendants of those who survived. This history matters because this tells you something about your DNA, about your ancestry, and about why you were born right now and why you should stop hiding. You are the children of the ones they couldn't burn, the ones they couldn't break, the ones they couldn't erase. You are the proof that magic persists in humanity, even under any empire, under any oppression, under centuries of forced silence. Here is a deep truth, and I want you to hear this in your bones. I want you to close your eyes for a minute, and I want you to hear this in your bones. Not just your soul. I want your bones to hear this. Are you ready? Being different means being chosen by the universe to hold a frequency that other people cannot. Being different means being chosen to hold a frequency that others cannot. You aren't too much. You are exactly the right amount of you for the work that your soul came here to do. You are the perfect amount of you. Your weirdness is your wisdom. Your difference is your doorway. How often do you shrink away from people, from groups, from places, etc., because you're really worried that they might judge you? Stop shrinking to make room for a world that could not imagine someone like you, but yet celebrate superheroes. And here's one more for the road. You ready? Walk tall in the power that was forged in your blood long before you were ever born. Walk tall in that power that was forged in your blood before you were born. You aren't here to hide your gifts. You aren't here to apologize for your intuition. You are not here to downplay yourself, to downplay your differences, to downplay your sight, your sensitivity, your power. You are here to embody it. Let that sink in. Did you know that in other cultures all around the world, spiritual gifts are honored? They're treated with reverence. Did you know that in West Africa, if a child exhibits a seer ability or mediumship abilities, they are trained from childhood to nurture that gift for the betterment of the tribe, of the culture, of humanity? Did you know that in India, when there's a child that exhibits intuitive traits, they are guided into yoga, tantric disciplines, spiritual practice? Did you know that in Tibet, those who can see beyond the veil are recognized as being a possible incarnate Lama? In the Americas, indigenous tribes train their healers. They train their dream walkers. They train their seers. They don't drug them. They don't hide them that's just our weird cousin. They don't do that. Growing up in Oklahoma, I've seen it a lot. Growing up throughout the Midwest with a parent that has indigenous blood in his line, I've seen it. These same people that want to persecute those people, they're the first to run to them for spiritual help. There's a lady in Sapulpa named Phyllis. She's an iridologist. She reads your eyes. She's native and she's phenomenal. Everyone knows Phyllis in Tulsa and around here. The same people that want to persecute that and talk down about you should assimilate are the same fucking bitches that run when they have a problem. Oh, you got a demon in your house. Let me call my friend who's native. In the Philippines, spirit speakers, navigators, they hold positions of respect. In Southeast Asia, mediums are trained and integrated into community life to help the betterment of society. People that show that they have neurodivergent qualities. They are trained with the elders of that tribe, of that culture, of that community, and they are added into society, a fully trained member of their spiritual clergy path. They're recognized. They're supported. They're celebrated. But in the United States, up until recently, the last couple of years, these children were called disruptive, twitchy, weird, sensitive, overly emotional. Oh, you're just imagining things. You have an overactive imagination. That kid is just delusional. You watch too much TV. We don't talk about that. Shh. But behind the scenes, oh, they listen when you have a dream about them, don't they? Or they're experimented on. How many of you guys lived through the 80s with that wonderful little box that they plugged you into with headphones, and then you don't remember the rest of that time or that week? How many of you guys grew up in the 80s and 90s and know about Mall World? Experimented on, my friends. Gifts in other cultures become diagnoses here. Abilities that would have made you a healer, an oracle, a shaman, a seer, make you a problem child here. What does that sound like? But times are changing. And you are a part of that change. You are that mutant in the X-Men, just one moment away from your metamorphosis. You might feel like you're different and you're just wrong and something's damaged in you. But just like that moment in the X-Men, right before someone's powers manifest, you might feel unsure, isolated, afraid, overwhelmed. I had a conversation, story time. I had a conversation with a couple of my girly girls this morning about electronics and electricity and draining electricity. How many of y'all do that? How many of y'all have to charge your phones multiple times a day? How many of you guys have to change batteries in items a lot? Remotes, cameras, especially when you're upset or sick. Let that sink in a minute. How many of you guys are having an aha moment right now? When you're sick, when you're upset, when you're down, when something's wrong, suddenly your phone gets drained really quickly. Your watch gets drained really quickly. You have electrical problems. How many of you guys can cloudburst? How many of you can control the weather? And I know some people listening are like, oh, that's really far-fetched there, Bodhi. Is it? Because from the time I was a kid, I can make storms go around my house. They don't hit my house. Since I was a kid, I can drain electronics when I need to. And so many other things. The universe doesn't give you a gift without having a purpose. The universe doesn't just go, you know what, today I think I'm going to make you have this gift. That's not what the universe does. The universe gives you these gifts that you carry for a purpose, for a reason. Your gifts are not accidents, my friend. Your intuition is not some glitch in your brain. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. Your connection is not a delusion. It's not craziness. Now you might feel like that, and you might even get some grippy socks. I prefer mine in dark blue because, my floors are always dirty, but loves, you aren't meant to fit in. You aren't meant to fit in. You are meant to transform the room just by entering into it. I want you to walk away from this Sunday sermon with the following things. I want you to stop apologizing for your abilities. Stop it. Your gifts aren't burdens, they're blessings. I want you to stop hiding your spiritual power because it makes other people uncomfortable. That's a them problem, not a you problem. You've been told your entire life to hide your spiritual gifts and abilities because you made parents, church elders, friends uncomfortable. But they sure as shit listened when you had a dream about them, didn't they? If they're intimidated by your gift, by your light, that is their problem. That is their shadow work, not yours. Number 3, and this one's going to be the toughest for a lot of you guys because it's tough even for me sometimes. You walk tall in your spiritual power even if your knees shake. You walk tall in who you are and the fantastical, magical thing that you are, even if your knees are knocking the entire time. Just wear a long skirt. Nobody has to know. Confidence is a spell. Self-ownership is its own magic. Power is a posture. Marilyn Monroe knew it. She could turn it on like that. And she could turn it off like that. She could walk down a crowded New York street and not a single soul would notice her. And she would say to the person beside her, "You want to watch me become her?" She knew. She would flip that switch, and suddenly everyone would turn around and look. That's a gift. Number 4, remember that you come from a lineage of survivors, of visionaries, of witches, of wild souls. You are the very magical beast that stories are written about. Mythology is written about you and your gifts and your powers and who you are. Not the normal person that fit in with society. Your blood will remember even when you forget. Ready for number 5? You need to embrace your difference as the sacred mark of your mission. You wanted your mission. You wanted to know where your path is. You wanted to know what you're supposed to be doing. Your gift. You need to embrace that as the sacred mark of what your mission is here on earth. Are you a healer? Are you a seer? Are you a void walker? Are you an energy worker? Are you a communicator? Are you a medium? You were made the way that you were made on purpose. Magic is not taught, it's remembered. The reason you're drawn to learning all of the things about spirituality and magic and so on is because you remember. Your soul remembers. Your blood remembers. Your DNA remembers. Stop apologizing for your power. Stand unapologetically in that spotlight and let the world adjust around you. There's a quote, and it's attributed to several different people. Marilyn Monroe is one of them. And it's, well-behaved women rarely make history. People who assimilate and people who are the same as everybody else never make history, do they? Let that sink in. If you were meant to fit in, you wouldn't have been born with what you've been born with. If you were meant to fit in, you wouldn't have been born with the fire that rolls inside your chest all the time. Your gifts are ancient. The things you carry with you is something that your spirit, your soul remembers. And something that couldn't be burnt or tortured or drowned or walled up or threatened or eradicated. But you're still hiding it. You're still hiding it. Why? Before I get off here, I want to leave you with this. Because I know that a lot of you guys are thinking now about how many times you've drained electronics around you, about how many times storms do this around your house or where you are, about how many times you have managed to just barely skirt some really crazy disaster because something in here or in here or in here told you to. How many of you guys' brains are working and all of those things are suddenly clicking into place? I'm going to leave you with a blessing today. You ready? May those who came before you walk beside you. May your gifts help awaken without fear. May your power rise up without apology. And may you remember this truth. You aren't different by coincidence. You are different by cosmic design. And the world needs you exactly as you are. Go be magical, bitches. Remember that you are exactly the being that they write stories about. You are the one that little kids dress up as for Halloween. You are the one that's written in histories and mythologies. Your DNA is the very DNA that kings and monarchs used to fight over so they could have the edge. Go be magical. Stop hiding it. I'll see you guys next week for your next Sunday spiritual sermon. Have a good Thanksgiving week.